Okay, welcome back to another video in the series of Relearning Angular. Whether you're new or you're like me, you're wanting to refresh your Angular from start to, hopefully we'll get into some more advanced topics. Feel free to go back through all of the videos in this playlist, and if you like what you see, feel free to also subscribe. I really would appreciate it, and you guys have been killing it with subscriptions, and I really do. It means a lot to me. And in the last video, we talked about the click event, and we talked about also the syntax of events in Angular. And I wanted to find a list of all of the different types of events. And I found this W3 Schools page, which I will link in the description so you can go check it out for yourself. But they have these AngularJS events. And even though this is AngularJS, not Angular, all of these events, from my knowledge, are still valid. So, for instance, I wanted to play around with a few, and I feel like once you have done one or a couple, you've done them all, right? You have the knowledge to do it. So I'm going to copy this MouseEnter. This is the first one I want to play around with. How do we use the MouseEnter event, and what does it do? You might be asking as well. So I'm just going to copy this MouseEnter keyword. I'm not going to copy the ng and the dash, just the MouseEnter. So let's copy that. And let's also refresh ourselves what we did in the last video. So we have this button, and if I click on the button, fires the click event, and the method just writes out to the console, I clicked on the button, right? So I copied the MouseEnter, and instead of clicking, I want whenever the mouse hovers over this, that's what they call enter, whenever it enters, I guess, that element. Because it could be something other than mouse. It could be like in each one. But whenever it enters this element, I want it to fire an event. So now that we have it copied, we'll go look at our code. And here is where we put the event. So instead of click, I'm just going to paste MouseEnter. And let's go to the TypeScript. Let's look at the method and change the message a bit. So instead of clicked, I entered on the button. It doesn't really make sense, but you know what I mean. So now if I go back to our app, and now watch, I'll just hover my mouse over the button. Notice on the console here on the right, we see I entered on the button. And if I move it back, then I go in again. Now we have a 2, and the console is doing this because it doesn't want to repeat the same log each time. Because if we did this multiple times, like I'm doing right now, see the number increments. That's just telling you how many times it's read that particular message. It doesn't want to list this out 30 times down in this console. You know, that would be cumbersome. It'll just put the number of how many lines of that there are. So that's the hover. You can maybe think of a use case for this. And let's try one more. One more I wanted to try was the paste. And this is all off the cuff. I didn't prepare anything for this video. So instead of a button, let's put an input. So input type is text, and we'll do the same syntax. So inside of parentheses, we're going to put the event. So it's a paste event, and maybe we should make, I was going to say maybe we should make a new message, but no, we don't have to. Let's just use the same method, show message, and let's pass in you pasted. And if we go back to the TypeScript, I'm going to have this just read the message value passed in. For some reason, I don't remember why we did it, but in the last video, we hard-coded. We went from taking what was passed in to just hard-coding a message. So, yeah, let's see if this paste actually works. So I'm going to copy this. Control-C, and let's go to our app, look at the console. It's fresh, nothing going on here. Here's our input. I will paste. There we go. You paste it. So maybe you have some logic where, you know, you don't want someone pasting something. So whenever they go to paste something in the input, maybe you want them to write it out. You'll go ahead and clear that right away when they paste because you have the pasted event. I don't know. That's the best use case I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe you have a better one. Yeah, like I said, once you've done one, you've done them all. I think the most valuable part is just having a list of what are all of the events. And there might be more since this is AngularJS. Maybe Angular has more, but I wasn't able to find those easily. But once you have the syntax down, once you understand how it works, how to call a method, it's very useful. So that's all we're going to talk about in this video. I'm not sure what we're going to do in the next video. I'll figure it out. And I hope you have a wonderful day.